What's up YouTube, Barbo here back again with another video. I know it's been a while since I made my last video, and to be honest there wasn't much for me to make a video over. It was all repetitive in the football world, especially what I'm interested in. I felt like as if I was watching the same thing week and week and over again, and there wasn't much excitement for me honestly, but I'm glad finally this tie happened. This is a tie that I've been wanting to watch since 17-18, and I wanted Pep to go against Madrid. I wanted City to show up at Bernabeu and see how they could handle it, and it ended up going great for them obviously. And today I'm going to be talking about the tactical aspect of the game, what I expected from both of the managers, what I expected from both teams, and how it went down. So first and foremost, I gotta say that these two managers, both Pep and Zidane, are honestly two of the most, if not the most impressive managers in the world for me, especially Zidane with what he's been doing with the thin squad that he's been given, and especially the way people doubt him as a manager due to the CR7 effect, due to the three-peat effect. People felt like, including myself, that it was some kind of fluky. So there wasn't really much hype on his name, but over the past 2 years, I've seen him improve much more as a manager. Before the game started, I thought to myself that Zidane has about two ways of truly going about this game. One of them was going all out and trying to create as much as possible and basically kind of like defending your home ground and try to get as many goals as possible. But the thing that comes with that is the fact that if you play Marcelo, who's Madrid's probably most creative player, you're bound to give up a lot of counters, you're bound to give up goals. And City knew that. City knew that they had to counter Madrid, they knew that they had to play on the wings, they knew that they had to play with their fullbacks. And Zidane obviously didn't go that way. He decided to go with the very defensive back four, which is with Ferland Mendy, who, by the way, really impressed me today. I thought that he was much better than he usually is going forward, and he really pulled in a shift and was looking great. So the back four from Zidane was great, and then onto his midfield. I thought that the midfield was actually smart choices while dropping Kroos, because Toni Kroos in a high-tempo game, in a high-intensity game, especially with City's dominant midfield, wouldn't really be a good idea. It would leave Madrid too exposed on the counters. It would leave Madrid too exposed when it comes to winning duels in the midfield, and I thought that Zidane did a great job of dropping him and going with the midfield four that he did, especially when it comes to Valverde and Casemiro. Those two are tanks. Casemiro didn't play as good as he usually does today. This season he's been amazing, but today he wasn't that good due to circumstances. But Modric was great as usual. Guy's 34 going all out in the Champions League, very impressive. Isco was great. Fede Valverde didn't really do much, but he was there to run and catch the counters and just like try to out-battled City's midfield when it comes to intensity, when it comes to bodying their midfielders. It didn't really work out as Zidane expected it to because of the last 20 minutes of the game, but overall I thought the game plan was great. Also playing Vinicius with Benzema up front was a great idea. Vinicius is he's a young player, but he's very creative. He's the danger man when it comes to him. Losing Hazard, especially Vinicius, is the direct replacement, and it was a great idea. Another thing that Zidane could have done was he could have gone with Bale and Benzema up front just to try to win the game off set pieces. He's done that before. It's not like it's a new thing. I'm not like bringing up a new idea. I've seen Zidane do that. Try to win game off the set pieces and have a strong back four just to defend the lead. But today he didn't do it. He went for Vinicius, which is completely fine. To me, Zidane really didn't get outclassed. It was more about the players letting him down and the issues of Madrid that have been there for the past 2 seasons really coming to life all over again. They don't really have much of goal-scoring threat up front. Benzema is not at his best, and Vinicius isn't a goal scorer. Bale isn't the guy that he was 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and they just don't have much options. Especially with CR7 leaving, they never replaced the goals, and they bought a guy like Hazard, who is a creator most likely, but he doesn't have the final touch to score goals or even get assists. He doesn't really have a final ball. I feel like Vinicius is in a better shape as a player than Hazard to help Madrid right now, especially with his work rate. I feel like he has a higher work rate defensively and helps them more defensively, but as far as it comes to Hazard, he's not a good fit for Madrid at the moment, especially when they don't have the goal scorers they need to. To me, Madrid played almost as good as they could have, besides the last 20 minutes, but those are, from what you've seen from Madrid in the past couple of years in Champions League, they have those moments where they look like they don't know what they're doing, and teams either take their chances or they don't. There's been a lot of times they haven't, like City in the second half, with Mahrez getting multiple chances, even Jesus getting chances in the first half. You just have to take your chances when you come to Bernabeu. The reason why Barcelona are so successful at Bernabeu is because Suarez and Messi are so lethal when they go there, and they know to take their chances. Even if they're playing bad, they will have their chances and they will take it. And that's what you got to do as the opposition when it comes to Madrid. Now, when it comes to City, I thought that Pep really did a great job with his ideas and really did a great job with his XI. I wanted Pep to put KdB on the wing because the fact that I knew Madrid was going to really press hard on him, and KdB isn't exactly a guy that's gonna evade press with his touches. He's not really a midfielder for these games. He's too stiff for that kind of motion and everything. So I wanted him to play on the wing, but he did end up playing as basically an 8-10 hybrid in the first half. And he really didn't do as much. He didn't get much touches. That's just the way it goes when it comes to a guy or players like KdB when they go to Bernabeu. That pitch is small, and Madrid suffocate you with their press. You won't get as many touches as you want to. But I wanted Rodri to play for the fact that he's going to win many like aerial duels, and they need that height when it comes to it, especially with the fact that Laporte went down in the first half, and Fernandinho was a guy that's much shorter. They really needed that height in there. I'm not really a big fan of Rodri. I think that he's not as good as people claim to be. He is, but he's useful for, I would say, maybe defensive side and winning aerial duels, and everything comes with that. He's not really great on the ground ball, and it showed on Madrid's goal. And then Gundogan, of course, he had an absolute masterclass. He did what he usually does, control the tempo of the game and try to create from deep. He was just looking like his 12-13 himself. And it was great to watch because Gundogan is a silky player that could link up with the forwards, and he can like move the ball around, change sides, just do everything that's asked of him. Now, when it comes to City's forward line, it was really interesting to put Bernardo false 9 because I wanted Jesus down the middle, and then I wanted KdB as a left winger and Mahrez as a right winger. But Bernardo false 9 worked because that was always Pep's game plan, to use Bernardo's stamina and everything, and then put Jesus down the middle later in the game. Basically tire Madrid's CVs out. They didn't really have, I wouldn't say they didn't have much to do in the first half, but compared Bernardo to a striker, they really didn't have to occupy Bernardo as much. Bernardo was a false 9 that was never going to play off the center back shoulders or anything. And Pep's game plan ended up working due to the fact that Jesus is an absolutely phenomenal player. He completely worked that Madrid left side on the first half, and he created chances out of nothing that Aguero would have never made. And that's the thing in these away games, you need players to step up, and Jesus absolutely did. You're going to talk about the chances missed. I don't really care much about that because at the end of the day, he didn't make up for it. And in the first place, you're not getting that many players that are creating those chances for themselves. Especially with Aguero, he's a stiffer player, and exactly he's just going to occupy the box, but he's not going to do much against Ramos and Varane if you play him there. So it was a different story. With Mahrez, I was hoping Mahrez would go against Marcelo, so he'd basically just tear him to shreds and he'd have a lot of space to work with. He went against Ferland Mendy, who's better defensively, but Mahrez, I feel like, still did his thing. He still did his job, and he was great. Just drive at the defenses and basically shoot as many times as you can and test the keeper. This was basically the story of the first half, but the difference between Zidane and Pep is the fact that Pep had a different plan for the game. He wanted to come in the second half and take the life out of Madrid, and I truly believe that it was planned out, especially with the fact that Bernardo started and Aguero never saw the pitch. Madrid's pressing helped them in the second half to obviously score a great goal. I thought that Modric did a great job with the pressing, and the thing is, Modric is 34 and pressing like that. You should be expecting it. He's always going to perform at home. He's always going to have that stamina within him. His legs may be slower, he might not have it over the course of the season, but when it comes to the big games, Modric will do his thing. And Benitez did a great job to assist Isco, who had a really good finish. Overall, when that happened, you would think that City would collapse. You would think that City, the game is done, the game plan is over. But as I said before, the thing with Madrid is the fact that they will always have mistakes in them, especially with their center backs, especially with Ramos. You have to take those chances. And City ended up taking those chances, obviously. First of all, Sterling coming on was great because Carvajal was getting abused on that right side all over again. And Sterling is a very driving force. He's a guy that just drives the ball to the box with, whether it's with link up or he's just grabbing the ball and running with it right into the box. So overall, it turned out great. And the fact that Sterling doesn't start is because it's easier to nullify him when you start a player like that. Same with Aguero. There are players that aren't super dynamic, but you know what you get with them. So you can always use them off the bench as a spark. And Aguero didn't get used because he wasn't needed as much, because Jesus was absolutely outstanding. You don't really need Aguero when Jesus is playing the way he is, playing two different positions and absolutely torching Madrid's center backs. Once KdB got pushed up a little bit in the second half, he started to get more touches. He started to find himself on the counter more. As the game was opening up as well, he just started seeing more space to work with. And that's what KdB is. He's a final third player. That's why I said I don't want to see him in center mid when it comes to a game like this. He's just not going to be that guy to dictate the tempo and get his own touches, make his own angles or anything. You have to find him space, and then he will do the rest. And as you saw in the assist, he did a really great job. As long as he's close to the box, he will do a great job. The thing with Man City is that once the game opens up, like it did after the first goal, you really can't stop them. You can't stop them because they have the pace wide and they know how to combine right down the middle and create chances from basically out of anything. And they are probably the most dynamic team going forward when the game is open like that. And Pep did a great job by moving KdB up again, because you make him, he's your most dangerous player. You got to give him the circumstances to perform, and that's what it was. Move him up, give him the space, let him create on his own. And then Sterling obviously helped, as I said before, and Mahrez, you saw he got more touches in the second half as the game was heating up for City. He was shooting the ball more. As I remember, he had 2 chances. He didn't really take care of them, but you know, you're just getting shots on the goal. Overall, I was loving this game. I thought it was a very tactical game and probably one of the best coach games of Pep's career, because he didn't undermine his team fully, but he gave him the best chance to win, as he usually does. But this was a different case because he did make the in-game adjustments that ended up working. And I really think that City will kill them when it comes to the second leg, because Ramos being out and Varane does not look as good as you would think without Ramos. And it's a huge miss. Also, on the other hand, Madrid really don't have any forwards to take care of City on a counter. They might even get 1 goal, but I feel like City will get more than 3 or 4 goals when it comes to the second leg. So we'll see how that ends up. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. If you did enjoy, please let me know what I should improve on in the comments, and thumbs it up if possible. I will probably be back for another video in a couple of weeks. I don't know how that'll go, but appreciate it. Till next time. Peace.